Hey guys, welcome to Frame Chasers. The i7-3770. Does it still matter in 2020? Well, we're going to find out. I picked up this weird thing. Let me just move this camera over. This thing here. It is an Acer Predator pre-built, like some sort of pre-build. I've never seen anything like this before, but I picked it up for $100, and I'm pretty sure it's bare bone. It has an i7-3770 in it. Where's my screwdriver here? And I'm pretty sure the power supply must be pretty decent. Let's see here. But yeah, $100 for this, and then we're gonna throw in an RX 570 because I get those from a miner down in the city. I get them for $80 off of them. So let's say $180 total investment in this computer. I mean, if the power supply is good. Yeah, it's bare. No hard drives. There's a DVD drive though. And one stick of RAM. Well, that's not bad. We can work with this. I mean, the guy confirmed that it had an i7 in it, and I checked it when it was in the parking lot. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna clean this up. This is dusty as shit. Clean it up. Ooh, 80 plus blonde. The 80 plus bronze. Look at that. How many watts is this? Max wattage 450. That's perfect. Man, we'll be able to overclock the hell out of an RX 570 with this. That's awesome. I'm stoked. Okay, we're going to clean this up quickly, redo the thermal paste on it, install an RX 570 in it, and then we will be back. I'm going to go do this outside because I don't want to contract skin cells in my nose. All right, we got this thing together. This is going up for a flip on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. Oh, if you're a regular follower of mine, I sold that 4790K build that I did with that 2060. Built that one for $620, and I sold it for $1,000. So that was $380 profit on that one. That was a good one. That was a good flip. This should be in the same ballpark, I would imagine. We got an RX 570 in here. Got for $80 from Miner. He has... The dude has thousands of them. I just go down the street and gave it from him. 128 gig SSD, 1 terabyte HDD. You can get these for literally pennies on the dollar on Craigslist. Like, they're like rats. They're everywhere. But they're perfect for OEM systems. 16 gigs of RAM, DDR3, same thing, like rats. You get them for pennies on the dollar. Cleaned everything up, made it look nice. Did a little bit of cable management here. And that's about it for this one. I'm hoping... I have $180 invested in this one. I'm hoping to sell it. Maybe put it up for 500, 600. I'll probably do 600 and then probably take 500 for it. So about $300 of profit. That seems about right for this one. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to install a fresh Windows on it. Install Afterburner, and overclock the crap out of the video card, because in my local area, people kind of know me as the overclocker guy. So when you buy a PC from me, you always get the FPS numbers with the ad, and you know you're getting more bang for your buck pretty much. Even though I make good margins on the computers, the customer still gets way more money way more performance for their dollar than everybody else in the area. So it's really just like win-win. Yeah, let's go install Windows on this thing. I'm going to do some benchmarks on it next, and let's see what kind of numbers we can pull on some esport titles. I'll be back. All right, guys, we got the benchmarks. Quite impressive indeed. These old things can still game, man. If you're only playing esports, I don't know what to tell you. You don't need to buy a PlayStation. You don't need to buy an Xbox. You can just spend $200 and you can still play competitively. Let me bring up these numbers here. I'm not going to put them in bar charts because I'll do a separate video for the RX 570. I'll put it in the 9900K box. Where is this display capture? Just to keep the data consistent. Okay, there we go. All right. So, because these data points are only for the i7-3770, and they are not. The RX 570 could have been pushed further, I would assume, but this is for an i7-3770 and an overclocked RX 570. It was at 1450 megahertz locked on the core and 1900 megahertz locked on the memory speed. I'll also do how to overclock Polaris cards in a separate video. They're really easy, and if you just unlock the power limits on them, you can get a 570 to perform as good as a GTX 1070. You know what I mean? Like, these things are crazy. But anyway, let's go Overwatch. They're all 1080p low, but Overwatch, you got your 240 FPS here. Valorant and CSGO, 240 FPS. Fortnite, 187. These two games here, Warzone and PUBG, you got your 115 and 110. I mean, that makes sense. These are definitely by far the heaviest esport games in terms of their game engines. Newer graphics cards and even just the multi-threading CPUs really go a long way in these two games. But, I mean, even 115 FPS in Warzone, 1080p low, that's still, twice as fast as a PlayStation or an Xbox, right? And this game is cross-platform, right? So if you're playing with your buddies that are using Xboxes or PlayStations, and they spend $300, $400 on an Xbox or a PlayStation, you can just put one of these things together for $200, take the extra $200, and maybe buy yourself a nice mouse and 144 hertz monitor, and you're going to be legit running circles around the consoles with a $200 machine. Well, I mean, I guess $400 total, right? Like, your dollar can go much farther in this day and age than buying a console. Like, there's literally no point in buying a console. Let me just pan back here. This has been on long enough. Yeah, there's legit no point in buying a console right now. If you're just looking for some esports, get an old OEM machine. This one was $100. Came with an old i7 in it. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, Spectre and Meltdown security patches were all disabled on this machine. Anything that's older than Skylake, even Coffee Lake, I usually disable Spectre and Meltdown. I always let the customer know that, but that goes a long way with those FPS numbers too. Just disable it. Don't... Hopefully, I mean, if you're buying a $200 machine, you're probably a kid that's not working at a multinational bank dealing with trades and stocks and, you know what I mean? Like, disabling Spectre and Meltdown is fine. Don't worry about it. It's not, they're not gonna, the thieves aren't gonna take the $100 in your bank account, you know what I mean? They don't care about you. You're better off just getting the FPS. But, anyway, what was I saying now? Yeah, no console, get one of these. Wait for the next gen consoles, though. Because if those things release for, 500 retail, that'll totally be worth it. I don't think they will. I'll do another separate video on the consoles later. But, yeah, those are the numbers for this little $200 box. i7-3770, non-overclocked, 16 gigs of RAM, 240 FPS Overwatch, Valorant, CSGO. What more do you want? I just realized my camera was tilted. Sorry about that. It looks straight now, but I'm gonna get a different mount for the camera. I've been neglecting that quite a bit. Like the cable for the camera is so heavy that it actually just drags it down over time. I'll fix that for the next video. But yeah, I think that's it for this one. If you need to get a Christmas gift for a niece or a nephew or something, $200, man, just get on that. Look for your local deals around. Get an OEM i7. Throw an RX 570 in it. You're laughing. You can't get best bang for buck. Better bang for buck than that. If you like this content, please subscribe. I'll be sharing more tips on how to get more FPS for cheaper bucks. Like the video, tell your friends. I got a goal to get to 100 subscribers. If you could sub, that would really help me out. And that's about it. I think the next video, we're going to do some RAM comparisons. I just got a new kit of RAM in that's DDR4 4400, and I'm going to compare that with 4000. That'll be the next video, I think. But in the meantime, thanks for showing up. Thanks for viewing. Really appreciate you guys. And I'll talk to you later. See you later.